Did you see the moon last night?
Yeah, that's dude. I saw it last night and this morning.
Just hit it. He's like, let me get ready. This is brought to you by that noise. That's the.
Yo, that shit sounds funny as hell. Hold on.
I've been recording this whole time, like the past 10 minutes. No, you gotta play the. Remember, you gotta play the intro.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, it's been a while.
Hold on, shut the fuck up.
And welcome back to another ALV podcast.
What up, what up, what up?
Follow us on Instagram at Podcast ALV.
And to check out the full YouTube videos, the link's in the Instagram bio.
And
click on it, check it out.
And to listen to all these episodes, including this one right now, go to ALVpodcast.com. And here we go.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a long, long fucking while.
Yes. It's been about, 5 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Listen, shit happens. A lot of people have been asking us, hey, when the next one is.
Yep.
Honestly, I want to say shout out to all the people who listen to us and follow.
For sure.
Because there's been a lot of people who have been like, when the fuck is the next one coming out? Like, they kind of been itching like a crackhead. But
yeah,
listen,
for
we
sure.
got it.
No, we really appreciate all the support. All the people asking like, yo, when's the next one dropping? Like, that feels nice. So appreciate all the love.
Feels wanted.
All the, yeah, for sure. But we're back. We're back.
So you were going to say something about the moon. Did you see the moon last night?
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
So today is Friday, October 2nd.
Yep.
So yesterday, October 1st, was a ridiculous full moon.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was, yeah, I saw it this morning when I was on my way to work.
Oh, damn.
It was like 5 a.m. That shit was like right there. And the thing that sucks though, it's like when you try to take a picture of it, dude, it's just
a glowing ball.
Nothing.
No.
It does no justice to it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because it was literally like at 5 a.m, dude. It's like fucking huge.
And it's big, right?
Big as hell.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I want to take a picture of it. Yeah, that doesn't work out.
I always said that somebody like Google needs to come out with some sort of contact that you put in, and when you blink, it takes exactly what you see. Like, period, exactly what you see.
That's kind of scary.
No, that is scary. But, I mean, you think about moments.
We'll probably
right?
get there eventually, though.
Oh, all day. I mean, I would never go full-blown cybernetics, like having like half of my body being that, but I would rock a contact that would let me have that moment in time. Because you think
Kinda
about
like
it.
a recording?
Either one.
Or like a picture?
Because I always told my wife, right? We never put names.
He needs some milk.
I don't even know what this says. I don't have my headphones. Actually, I do have them over there. I should go get them. I'll get them in a second. We think about it, right? There's been many, many times in my life where a photo on your camera just does not do it.
Right.
It just doesn't.
Nah.
And I sit there and I will imagine. I'm like, man, imagine if Google or somebody came out with a contact that if you blinked, anything you saw coming through your eyes, it's exactly what you would get. Every type of color, shape.
Right.
So like yesterday, we took the girls to go to see the moon. I just ran down the street with the car, right? And it was so beautiful, but then when like you said, you try to take a photo, it's just like a glowing ball. Everything's blurry.
And it's far as hell.
Yeah, you gotta try to zoom in.
But it doesn't work
But then your eyes see it crystal clear where you could see every, crevice and crest there is of the moon.
Yeah.
Or
there was, I think I read something that, a month of October starting with the full moon and ending with a full moon, which I thought that was pretty interesting.
I can see that.
Yeah, so.
I can see that really. I know that this full moon lasts.
It was 2 days.
It says it's supposed to last for 3 days.
Oh, 3 days?
Starting yesterday and then ending either tomorrow. So maybe it started Thursday. And then
yeah, it started. I think
tomorrow.
it was Thursday night.
Is there one for this one?
I don't know.
Oh, no way.
Oh, you need that other jack?
Negative. Well, fuck these headphones then. I tried. I wanted to hear all the updates.
No, yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, man. It's been crazy last couple of weeks.
Anything you need to let off your chest?
A
Anything you need to talk about?
lot of shit going on.
Well,
Like in the last couple, like
5 weeks
since we've done it. It hasn't been 5. It feels like it's been longer.
The last one, I would say at least 5 to 6.
Yeah,
Definitely no more than that, because it's been more than a month.
That's true. It's been like a month and a half.
But mind you, now anyone who's listening, like, we've tried.
The attempt has been made, but we failed.
Yeah, last week, we won't get into details, but last week we had it. We even posted saying, hey, we're about to do stuff, but we were grilling out, having a good time. We watched the UFC fight, and it kind of just didn't happen.
We definitely did stuff, but it came out to be to us not doing the podcast.
Yeah,
we got fucked up.
That's on you. That's on you.
Well, I got fucked up.
Yeah, okay. You can't put both of us in that same category.
But yeah, I mean, it just like in overall, like I took a break off social media for a little while too. Like it was like a month.
Yeah.
That
missed a lot.
That was much needed. I felt like it was just too much going on. I just felt like my mind needed a fucking break from everything that was going on, and I feel like a lot of people need that. You know what I mean? We're always on our phones, always seeing bad shit going on, like it constantly. Just day to day, like everything's like you get on social media and the world's fucking burning down. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's not good for anyone's mental health. It'll definitely fuck with you. And I felt like, taking a little break just off all social media would be a good thing, and it definitely was. I deleted all social media apps except TikTok.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Hold on, this guy was sending us TikTok.
TikTok was just entertaining. I was just like looking at funny shit, but other than that, yeah, like I just tried to stay away as much as I could, and I did, and it actually helped. Like I felt like I had more time in my hands, like to do other stuff. And it was just, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed that. And I think I'm going to start doing that like periodically, just take a break off social media and, focus on other things. Cause you don't realize how much time you spend on that shit. And, before you know it, you're like been scrolling for an hour and a half, 2 hours, like gone. You know what I mean? Where you can use that time to do something else, something more productive. But yeah, it was great. And then ironically, after I got on that shit, like, getting off social media, I saw that there was a documentary on Netflix about, social media, social dilemma, I think it was called, talking about like how the algorithms of the fucking social media are used to like keep you glued to your phone.
Yeah, that shit was scary.
That shit was crazy, dude.
Anyone out there, I mean,
if y'all haven't seen
Netflix,
that shit, y'all gotta watch it.
It's called Social Dilemma.
Yeah, it was good.
That shit was wild. I think what I liked about that was how it was a documentary, but not only a documentary, they also made it like a movie.
Yeah.
So they had actors and stuff of that playing a family and what it kind of feels like to do it, you know? So you saw like the teenage boy who's been in a couple of movies, like the earliest one was
yeah, I've seen him before.
in the new Hulu movie about like drinking binge, like what was it, binge night or some of that shit. It's with I think it's like called Binge Night or some of that. It's kind of like a comedy they made similar to like The Purge with Vince Vaughn.
Okay.
But The Purge is not killing. The Purge is like you can drink, do drugs, whatever you want for one whole night. But then crazy shit happens. It's one of those rom-coms. Well, anyway, he was in that movie.
Yeah.
But you saw him where he was like at school with his friends, and then like it seemed like the algorithms, like the people, the powers that be that are at whatever the social media was watching him and saying, oh no, we need to have him on, not talking to his friend. Yeah. So he would randomly have like a notification pop up.
Right. Yeah.
Then it would connect, and like he was talking to some girl. Yeah. Instead of really focusing on her, it was like, no, we need him to go here. And then they would put it basically looked like Instagram. He would put the algorithms of the people would actually do it. And they're like, okay, now it's time to put an advertisement.
Right.
You know, just sprinkle it right in there to like get you going. You
right.
know?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I thought, you know, and the documentary obviously has people who've worked for social media before, like, you know, Twitter, Instagram. You have like Facebook, people who've actually worked for these companies who straight up tell you like, yeah, like these people, like their sole purpose is basically to feed you propaganda. You know what I mean? And they're like, and that's the whole purpose, because you're like, they're like, you know, once they started monetizing off of that, they needed something to sell. So now like all your information and stuff, all your clicks, the shit that you click is being sold or stored and then fucking sold to other like marketing companies. And that's why you get like these ads pop up on your shit, because it's based off your search history,
that's
based
where the
off your
algorithm
likes,
works. Yeah.
based off, you know, all this other, your interactions and social media and stuff like that. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like that is crazy.
So
like,
think about how every time you go to your search,
right,
and the search all of a sudden is kind of like molds into like what you're into.
liking. Yeah, exactly.
So if you're sitting there staring at big old booties all day, that's all you're gonna get in there is big old booties. Or if like sports, things like that, you know. So you'll see a lot of like with me, you'll see a lot of like animations or cartoons or don't even say it. It's true. I can show it right now on my phone. It has nothing to do with nothing. It's all about art,
what do they
man.
call that shit? Like animated porn?
Yeah. Oh, like hentai and all the nonsense.
Bruh.
Jeez. But what was it? The one thing that I did find fascinating is that in that movie as well, the guy said that we are not the consumer anymore. We're actually the product.
Yep. Exactly.
And like I literally paused it, man. I paused and I thought about it. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because they said it. They're like, social media, anyone who's on social media is on there.
Right.
But because they got all your data, right? Now an advertising agency can come and be like, hey, I want to sell this product, right? They're like, no problem. They'll be able to find
people who
are interested in that and
Facts.
show them the product.
Facts.
No lie.
Crazy.
So like Freddie and I were talking during lunch, right? And today has been a long day. During lunch, and he mentioned how he's learned a lot like through online, like social media, whether it's like Instagram and so that. We were talking about how you'll see all these like influencers that would talk about Robinhood and be like stocks, like, oh, you should invest into this, right? And I told him straight out, I was like, you know what? I was like, if you were trying to mandate that their specific Instagram videos should be like deleted or blocked, those are the type that should be. Because you'll get influencers that will wear stuff,
right?
And they don't necessarily say, hey, go buy this, because it's kind of like a little shady. They're just wearing it. You see it, so it's subconscious, right?
Yeah.
So what was going on
Especially
is that you think about
constantly.
it. Yeah. So what Freddie was saying is that a lot of these influencers say, "Hey, go buy such and such stock," right? And then next thing you know, people will start go buying it. But
that's
the
dangerous.
people who so now you're influencing the market. So if you put like a couple of hundreds of thousands, yes. So if you put a couple of $100,000 before that, because you know that you're gonna have this influencer, now you're gonna have all these people just sit there and flood the market.
Yep.
You just made money.
Yep.
So how is that like legit?
Yeah, that should be illegal.
And people do it all the time.
Yeah.
People do it all the time where they try to, mimic or try to like mold you or shift you.
Yeah.
And that documentary showed that too.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't watched it, Social Dilemma on Netflix, check it out.
No, that's fucking nuts.
It's definitely very eye-opening.
There's a couple of them like that.
And yeah, like
there's a couple of UFO ones like that too. That kind of, but that's for another day.
I haven't seen any.
Oh, there's one called
I haven't really
Undisclosed
watched
or something like that.
I watched Real Steel on Netflix. That shit was actually pretty good.
You've never seen that?
No.
That's up. It's not like one of my top favorite movies, but that one's definitely up there because it's legit. Because it's like you got that action, but then you get that like
storyline. Yeah, that was.
I think he did that almost right after, like a couple of times after Wolverine. But I always thought about how dope it would be if one day
There
You
was
just had
actually
big ass robots like that just fighting.
fighting robots.
You see what
I
Japan
wouldn't
did?
doubt it.
You see what Japan did? So for the past few years, Japan was making a life-size Gundam.
No shit.
Yeah. So if
Damn.
anyone doesn't know, there's something called Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
Which is like a famous anime, which is like a mech robot that would fight in space. And so people who are anime,
Yeah.
people like me would know what that is. Well, anyway, they made a life-size one, and they just finished building it where they were able to make it walk or move.
Oh shit.
The shit only took like 2 steps. But the fact that
That's
this thing was like,
revolutionary.
the fact that this thing was like, I mean, this thing was a couple of stories high. And it literally, like, they unlocked it. What I found funny was that I'm like, oh shit, this thing walked forward and walked back, right? And then I think it moved its arm or some of that, right? But then when I looked at the video, I was like, it's at 4 times speed. And so it really took like a half an hour for this thing to really finish its movement.
Damn.
But they sped it up fast,
video,
so it looks like they're just moving,
He's
come
actually
back,
moving,
high
yeah.
five, salute, and you're done. And I was like, oh, that's fucked up. But the fact that they were able to build something that crazy
Yeah, that's insane.
and knock it out, that's kind of cool. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool. I would love to see some of that happen.
Yeah, and then fucking Corona is still around.
It's looming.
That whole fucking shit show too.
The fact that the president and his wife got it.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. If anybody watched the debate, you could easily see that, Trump shit the bed on that, because
The supporters won't say that.
Dude, that fucking debate was just like
It was a joke.
straight up
period.
fucking comedy fucking stand up. That's literally what it was. Like, Trump kept talking over Biden. Biden tried to keep it professional and then fucking snapped a couple times too. But I mean,
It's like, will you just shut up, man?
There was nothing presidential about that presidential debate. It was just like, honestly, it was kind of like irritating and annoying because, like,
When you have the
Trump
host.
would just like walk around all the fucking questions being asked about, like, controversial shit.
Like
And
white supremacy.
he never,
That was
yeah,
cringe,
exactly.
man.
Like, he never gave like a direct answer to any of the fucking questions that was being asked, and he would just like interrupt Joe Biden too, like all the fucking time. Like, bro, let the man talk. Like, fuck. They're telling you 2 minutes uninterrupted, and here you go, motherfucker, cutting in and shit. I'm like, let the man talk.
Well, that's his plan, That's his plan.
but
where
I
it's
mean,
like, hey, I need to.
He looks arrogant. He looks selfish. He
it's
looks
like narcissism.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, so if you're not gonna let this dude talk, can you at least say something fucking with value, something with weight on it? And he never did. Like, every fucking question or everything that came out of his mouth was like what? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think both.
I don't know, man.
Both people on both sides are sitting there shaking their heads like.
Yeah. And
Like,
I don't like politics because I don't like getting into politics because I just know it's all bullshit. But, they both have pros and cons, like, big time. But, at the end of the day, whoever gets elected president, that's who it is, and we got to deal with it. And it's like, people don't seem to realize that. It's like, it's like very black and white, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to take, some stuff with like with a grain of salt. Like, it's just, it is what it is, you know what I mean? And it's like, until, something, gets done about it, there's really nothing we can fucking do. Like,
there's
there's no need to get fucking worked up over shit like that. Like, it's crazy how some people, like, from somebody you don't even fucking know that probably doesn't give a shit about you, like, you're over here fucking advocating for and da-da-da-da. You should advocate for, like, the ideas they're trying to push and stuff like that, 100%, but not for the person, you know what I mean? Like, why, like, nah, man.
Fuck hit that bomb.
Like,
hit that bomb.
Boom. Like, yeah, if you believe, like, in an idea that they're trying to push, whatever, fucking, yeah, all for it, all day. fucking back that idea up or whatever. But the person itself, man, nah, fuck that shit.
Like even
a person can be biased. You know what I mean?
hands
They
down.
could tell you, the fucking moon is black, the moon is whatever color, and then go around the back and do whatever else. Like paint it a
even
different
right
color.
now with the Supreme Court, right? You had one die, and Trump's trying to put in this younger woman, right? She's like in her 40s, like late 40s, let's say. So so if she gets nominated, she's gonna have like a good 30 years, in there. And like I sit back and like you have all these people, hating it or shitting on it, or the Democrats trying to say, no, we're gonna wait. We should wait until the election's over, things like that. And it's like I can't hate on them.
Right.
Even I was watching John Oliver last week tonight, HBO, and he talked about it. He's like, she's gonna get nominated. Like no matter where you look at it, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, yeah, she's gonna get in. And the thing is like, what some people don't understand is that the president has every right to put whoever the hell they want in there.
Right.
Whether you love him or hate him, like I can't go wrong because that's his right. If he wants to put her in there, that's like playing chess with Republicans. Now they're going to have majority of Republicans on there, and so you have the Democrats saying no, we should wait because they expect that Biden's going to win.
Right.
But what do you think they're going to put? They're going to put a Democrat in there.
Exactly.
So you cannot have your cake and eat it too, because now you're just trying to pull those heartstrings.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense, because like if anyone knows Constitution or law, things like that, like the president has every right to put anyone he wants, nominate.
Yeah.
Okay, because it still has to go through the proper channels, just like the last guy did. You know, where they get vetted, and then obviously if the majority is Republicans, which it is, they would be like, okay, we want her.
Right.
And if it happens within the next month. Shit, there's no shit you can do with it. And then the fucked up part is what Democrats said. Did you hear what they said?
No.
They're saying that if it happens, right, and if Biden wins, they're what they want to do is expand the Supreme Court. So instead of having 9, to have like a couple of more. I think it's 9, if I'm not mistaken, right now. I could be wrong. I apologize.
I don't know. I don't really fuck with politics like that, but I just know that it's extremely convenient that now Trump has COVID.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and his wife.
Okay, bro. Like, you shit the bed at the debate, and now you all of a sudden have COVID. That's a good fucking get out of jail free card.
I mean, that's 14 days. That's 14 days
that you don't have to fuck with media or any of that shit. So
what I find funny is that great,
played,
it's 14
sir.
days, but you don't think they're gonna hit you up even more when you get out? The second that he shows up, they're gonna be on him like white on rice.
I think, I don't know. It's weird.
I would be.
Weren't they supposed to have like another debate soon? Like in the next
I don't think it's
couple
soon.
days?
It's probably. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, because I mean we're already in October. The fucking election
it's November
is next month.
November 7th.
3rd or 7th.
Yeah,
some shit like
because
that.
the PlayStation 5 comes out on like the 13th or something. That's the only reason why.
Yeah,
that shit's been sold out everywhere, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Just too much shit going on. I'm so ready for this fucking year to be over with. It's just,
and that's the problem.
Too much shit
I don't necessarily think that
well, not even
that's going to be any
just
better
fucking, just
in
the
2021.
elections, bro, because there's just been so much shit,
Like, get it over with.
So much division, like, you know what I mean, that it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I fully understand, like, what the frustration and shit, but it's too much. Like, we just, like, as a nation, we just need to fucking figure some shit out, because, with the whole Trump not fucking condemning the white supremacists and shit, like, now you got fucking white supremacist motherfuckers, like, on their high horse talking all this shit. And I'm like, God
like, ready for
bro.
war. Like either way.
Like,
I mean, that's scary when
you
you think about it.
motherfuckers are stupid, bro. Like, God damn, like, what goes through somebody's mind to be like, oh, the president is telling us to stand by? Like, motherfucker, he doesn't even know you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, it's kind of hard for me to understand people's fucking mentality like that. Like, bro, the man doesn't even know you. He probably could give two shits if you fucking get ran over by a bus. You know what I mean? You're over here like, oh yeah, sir, we're standing by. Da 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 da. Like, go fuck yourself, dude.
Well, everyone's whether dying or getting shot at, they're all cozy, just hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. And then he mentioned some shit about like poll watching. On the debate, yeah, like there was people that were that were ready to fucking basically watch you vote, like stand next to the poll to watch you vote to make sure you weren't like doing anything fraudulent.
Oh, I didn't hear that,
bro.
That's fucked up.
I was like, I'm like, what? You can get fucked.
It's like
this is just a fucking bomb waiting to happen.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you picked the wrong one, boy.
Exactly. Like, you fucking go to a poll, you have somebody there watching you vote, I'm punching the motherfucker in the face. Like, you need to go somewhere, motherfucker. You're not gonna watch
hella
me
thin
vote.
and papery anyway.
Yeah, like, you're not gonna sit here and watch me vote, bro. Like, this shit is supposed to be, like, personal. You know what I mean? Like, fuck
You got a big
here.
ass iPad that's, like, plastic as hell in front of you.
Yeah.
With these paper kind of sheets that, is almost as tall as me.
Right.
Where anyone could be kind of peeking over like, what you doing?
What? No, bro. You going to get
what
punched
what was your answer
quick.
for number one?
Yeah,
what was your answer for number one?
Nah, you got me fucked up. But
Yeah,
with
that
that being
shit's fucked
said, go fucking vote. November, whatever the fuck it is.
7th, I believe.
Go vote. Just fucking vote on whatever you feel like.
Anybody, whoever it is.
It doesn't matter who you fucking vote for. Just go out there and do it. Express your right, because it's your right. You have the right to vote. So
and the electoral college is bullshit.
Especially like all the younger guys, like younger guys and girls, whatever. Just go out there and fucking vote, because especially us, the minorities, Hispanics, blacks, like, we need to get out there and fucking vote.
What did they say? We were the majority that didn't vote or something like that.
Yeah, Hispanics and blacks are always, because we're always, like, thinking, oh, our vote doesn't count, like, politics is bullshit, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, it's bullshit and all that. Like, a lot of people look out for themselves, and that's the main... It is what it is, you know what I mean? But if we're not sitting there voting people in who actually give a fuck, or voting ideas in that are going to benefit us in the long run, then, we're not helping anybody.
It's true.
So we got to go out there, fucking check everything out, like vote laws in that, you feel like, apply to your surroundings, and just do it, man. Just go out there and fucking express your rights.
The biggest thing that people don't understand, that it's one big, like, 4D chess match, right? Everything is in place, but the powers that be already know how to play the game.
For sure.
Right? So a lot of the people who are, gunshots.
I'm saying.
Blah, blah. A lot of the people who...
The Proud Boys.
Yeah. We are in Woodstock. That's funny.
Run.
Yeah. A lot of people who I don't even know what that is. You're just pressing the buttons. I can't hear anything right now. It's fucked up.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
I'll hear it later. So he's about to hit the crickets next.
I don't think we have them anymore.
Yeah, that should be there. Like the last one or something like that.
No, that's the horn.
Oh, I thought I left it. There's one that's similar to it.
Slacking.
I don't know. Or I did the cookies or something like that. Well, anyway, what I was saying was that you have a lot of people who are obsessed about what's going on and don't realize that
fanatics. That's what they call
where it starts is like the grassroots, the mayors, the senators, the Republic, whether it's Republican or Democrat, the Congress, Senate, all those is who makes laws.
Right.
So if you vote at the bottom for people who want to make a difference instead of just being puppets to what's going on. That's how you play the game. They already know that. They already know that everyone's focus is going to be on the presidency and not what's underneath.
Right.
Mind you, they vote every 2 years.
Yep.
Right? So if we knew who was there, or we happen to know that there's a local politician that thinks just like you, who is real and not a facade or a shell, those are the people that you want to put in there, because they're not going to be bought out, or they're not going to have an agenda. They're there for you.
Yep.
So you start there. Imagine that. Whether it's Republicans and Democrats, you start building within the inside, right? And have enough people that are like-minded to vote. There you go. Now you have this ripple effect where people can start actually putting real laws in place. Like, for example, with me, the Constitution for me is bullshit. Because it was made, put this in perspective. The Constitution was created before we actually had electricity.
Right.
The Constitution was written in candlelight. Right? So after 400
fucking
years or so.
Candle wax and shit all on it.
Right? On the hand while it's going. But if you are, 400 years since technology, everything has changed. Everything is completely different. Right. Where there needs to be a revamp. Right?
Yeah, you know what? For a long time, I've thought that same thing. Like, a lot of fucking laws that are in place, a lot of things are so outdated.
Yeah,
like we've outgrown a lot of that shit. You know what I mean? I feel like it's time to kind of do like a revamp on a lot of that shit. A lot of it's irrelevant. A lot of it is fucking irrelevant. And, you got to kind of... And the thing is that we've surpassed, like, the actual written laws by, like, so many fucking years already that, they haven't kept up. And they're falling even more behind as, the years go on. And nobody's fucking realizing that we need to fucking start changing that shit. But I have noticed that, Jay-Z, and he has like a group of people that have actually gone in and started kind of doing that shit. Illuminati, Rock Nation. Yeah, we need more people like that though. More people with those kind of connects, those kind of influences that, that can actually start changing shit from the inside out.
There's no more heroes.
There is none. We have nobody to
Who do you have to look up to?
Exactly.
Farrakhan is old as hell.
Yeah.
And he's one of the only ones left. And you had people who were trying to make a difference, a la Nipsey Hussle or things like that. Yeah. And they died.
They've been,
So you're going to have people who are either...
R.I.P. Nips.
Yeah. You're going to have people who are already caught up or won't give you an opportunity because they're scared.
Right.
Because they see what's happening to everybody else. And they're like, they're not trying to mess with that. That's the ignorance of the music industry now, right? They're kind of hiring any cat that somewhat sounds good who's willing to get and just make $1 million because they're broke as shit. Right. And they're willing to do anything they want for whatever they want.
You know what's funny though? There's Big Sean just dropped an album not too long ago, and there's a song in there that he has with I think it's Lil Wayne. And he's there, there's a little intro, and it says, you got all these basketball players and all these musicians making millions of dollars or whatever. He's how much are they worth to their owners? You know what I mean? They're probably worth billions. You know what I mean?
Depending on who it is.
Exactly. And I was like, oh fuck, that's so true. We're over here thinking damn, these dudes make hella money, you know what I mean? And then you don't think about there's motherfuckers that they signed to that are making probably 5 or 10 times that amount that they're paying them. You know what I mean?
Well, put into perspective, right? LeBron, who's the biggest Laker right now?
Yeah, LeBron James.
Okay, so LeBron's contract is $40 million 2 years, something like that, right? So that's $20 million a year, hypothetically. Right. I could be lying. I'm just using it as a number, right? Yeah. So he literally is going to get $20 million a year, right? But now if you are the Staples Center, right, because you have them there, prior to COVID, but if it was actually at the Staples Center, right? Say the Staples Center holds 30,000 people, right? Because you have LeBron, who is as close to Kobe Bryant as you can playing for the Lakers.
Not even.
No, LeBron is nowhere near. Fuck that dude, right? That's a whole nother conversation. I'll get into that.
We're about to get into the finals.
Yeah, and you think about, that's a nice segue. Okay, I like that. So you think about how because he's there, he sells out the whole season.
Right.
The whole season.
Yeah.
Right? And then some of those seats in the front are expensive as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But say every year they make a couple of $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's not including. That's just on tickets. So you're talking about concessions. You're talking about buying his jersey.
Yeah.
All that stuff goes back to them.
Right.
Which they probably make more than what his contract is.
That's facts.
And that's why they always say they need to, if they're going to make their money, they need to make it in commercials or nonsense or out of things.
You just got to think, bro. Like, you got these organizations make stupid amounts of money off these players. Like, and these players are probably getting what, like maybe 5%? Yeah, like 3% of like shit. Like, come on, bro. Yeah. And a lot of people don't even realize that. Like, I sat back and thought when I first heard about like the fucking massive contract that Patrick Mahomes got, like $435 million.
Almost $500 million for like 7 years or some of that, right?
Holy shit, like that is insane. I've never like heard of any player in history make that much money. And I was
Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
His was up
it was
there.
like 2 or 3 somewhere around there. But
at that time.
At the time, yeah. But I mean, you think about it, you're like, holy shit, this kid is like, what, like 23, 24, or some shit like that?
Somebody just got
Patrick
$500
Mahomes?
million.
Yeah, and I'm like,
who was
holy
that?
Shit.
Was it Messi?
$500 million?
Yeah.
Nah.
There was a player that just got like $500 million for like something. He was like the first athlete to get such a large I think it was in soccer.
Maybe. I don't
know if it was Messi or somebody, but somebody just got
I don't think it was
contract like that. That was ridiculous.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Because he stayed with Barca, so they probably cut him a fat check. But anyways, like you think about, you see these big ass numbers, but then you don't think about how much more the revenue they're gonna make off of that shit. You know what I mean?
They are a product generally.
Yeah, exactly.
They are a straight up product.
Which is crazy. I don't know, but it's like,
it's bullshit. I mean, even on top of that, when you talk about like the NFL, one of the things that upset me the most is what they're doing, like with Black Lives Matter. It's the biggest hypocritical, event that I've ever seen, and they can literally go fuck themselves. Yeah, because you have Colin Kaepernick, which was like 4 years ago, whatever. Pissed me off. Right? This is the reason why he was doing it, right? But then you had owners talking about how they need to respect the flag. You have the commissioner himself saying that. On an interview saying that they should respect the flag, they shouldn't do that.
Fucking
right?
Trump called him out too. I'm like, wow.
So you're ripping
now
him.
The fucking it's all.
And now you're like, we love Black this, we love matter. This. Like, putting every end zone has something. Every helmet has a name. Yeah. Right. And you have the commissioner coming out that we support Black Lives Matter. You have coaches coming out, but then this cat's still not playing. You have what was he, like a safety from the Panthers? Who was like a Colin Kaepernick, who was very, very, talkative and vocal, and they kind of blackballed him too, and he was one of the top safeties in the NFL. Yeah, it's bullshit.
I mean, you got to think of it. The majority of the NFL is black guys. Like, come on, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, what they did to Colin was just fucking ridiculous, bro. Like, it was, I don't know, like, that was probably one of the most fucked up things that's ever happened in the NFL. Like, that's just ridiculous.
I think one of the most...
And they wouldn't even give him a fucking job back. No. Like, come on,
they tried, but they had a lot of, like, shit into that contract,
They wanted
to
make him a fucking example. Yep. That's what it was.
If none of y'all know that, like, he had a tryout here in Georgia, right? And he decided not to go. He was going to go, and he said no, he didn't show up, right? And the news, everyone was on him, talking about how, look at him, they try to give him a deal, but they never, hence fake news, they never put out the truth. Right. And what happened, and what come to find out, is that in his contract, they say, listen, we will sign you right now to come back to the NFL. However, there were stipulations where he was not allowed to kneel, not allowed to talk about different things. Basically, just be the dancing fool and play the sport, and that's it. Just play, the sport, and that's it.
Right.
And like, that's fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's why, and good for him for not doing it.
Yeah.
But a lot of this shit didn't start happening until that kneeled. If you think about it,
yeah.
a lot of the Black Lives, well, obviously Black Lives Matter started because
like the pioneer who started everything, who started the awareness on all of this, like, you know, in a bigger scale.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He was definitely he's definitely a pioneer of the movement. So I mean, hats off to him for bringing awareness and, you know, creating this new, you know, kind of revolution, if you will, of young people coming out and voicing their opinions and their feelings, and, you know, and making their voices be heard.
Yeah.
And it's gone a long way, and it's awesome to see.
People forget, I think, what he even did it for.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of police listen, like there's a comedian who talked about this one time, and he said how he's like, do people not understand what Black Lives Matter mean? He's like, just the fact that, you know, the life of a black person matters. It's like, and then people are like, well, all lives matter. It's like, damn, can't we just get something out of this?
Exactly.
Like, you know, a little piece of it, you know? And that's the concept. Like, people could debate you all day. I dare somebody to try to, because you get all these people like, well, you know, it's this or it's that. I'm like, no, I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
Exactly.
You know, you see a lot of things that go on and that occur, and it happens.
Yeah, there's so much ignorance, like, when it comes to something, a topic like this. There's just so much ignorance that people choose not to fucking do the research, that people choose to be ignorant. You know what I mean? And you can't really do shit with those people. You know what I mean? It's just best to, like, walk away, fucking don't even talk to them, because if you try to reason with somebody like that, it's just going to escalate to a different problem, a different situation.
You're going to be beating your head on the wall for hours.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, shit can go 0 to 100 real quick. So, I mean, it's just a lot of ignorance on this topic that, you know, it hopefully, you know, there's something that can be done about it, but with who we have in office right now, I don't really see fucking any kind of solution to the issue.
Yeah, but who gives a shit who's in office to... Well, this is the way I look at it. Like, who cares who's in office, because you're a corporation, right? You have players that are doing this, but the only reason why they're doing it...
I'm talking in general.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just in general, like, for the topic, like, you know, Black Lives Matter topic, or just any kind of racial topic. Right now, like, there's so much racial division, like, it's insane. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you got flat out fucking racists just walking down the street, fucking calling you racist shit, and just thinking it's cool. You know what I mean?
And then getting punched in the mouth because they're not realizing it's the 1930s
then they get
anymore.
Fucked up, and then they're like, oh, well, no, it's, you know, all these fucking people out here in the street protesting and shit.
You got these Karens everywhere.
Yeah, like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, man. Like, shit just needs to change. Like, it's not like, and it's just the mentality of people just, like, baffles me. You know what I mean? Like, the ignorance of some people, that it's like, can you not see what the fuck is going on? Like, people just want to be treated equally. People just want, you know, all this racism to stop. Like, and realistically, it's probably never gonna stop, you know, because of the ignorance.
And it happens all over the world.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens all over the world. So it's, you know, I don't know. It just has to come to something to where it's, you know, it works out for everybody. Like, I don't know. But to be ignorant to the fact, to be ignorant to the history, to be ignorant to the, you know, the how these people, how, you know, I don't even know how to explain it, because it's just the ignorance. Yeah. People choose to be ignorant.
Well, people who have never experienced will never know.
The information is there for you to fucking, but people don't give a shit. That's plain and simple. People don't give a fuck if it's not part of their everyday lives. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's one of the issues, that it's like, you know, because they're not going to teach this shit in school. You know, you got to teach this kind of things in your house. You know what I mean? You got to teach your kids. You got to teach your future generations. Like, you know, this is what's happened. This is, you know, what needs to happen for shit to change, and fucking go out there and change.
do it.
You know what I mean?
It starts with parenting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you remember, you're
It
not
starts in the
born
household.
ignorant. You're definitely not born racist.
Right.
Right. You're born.
Exactly.
You are programmed to be racist based off
Yes.
what's your surroundings like, your
Facts.
parents. So like there was a video that I saw where it was about like Jackie Robinson, right? But it was showing the other aspect of racism, right? And you saw how a white dad took his son to a game, right? And he's having a ball because he's here with his dad. He's watching baseball, right?
Right.
And you see him with a smile. And the second that there was a black player up, which was obviously Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I fucking apologize. It was in the 52 movie about Jackie Robinson. It was like a short little part where it was like his first time to like come up to bat or whatever. They showed the crowd.
Right.
And they showed the boy. They showed the boy like smiling, hitting his glove, like ready to watch the game.
Right.
And second Jackie Robinson came up, his dad, the people behind him was like F you, you know, and cursing him out with every
damn.
racial slur. And the kid like looked devastated.
Right.
Like had no idea what was going on. And then when he saw that his father kept on doing it, guess what? The son started doing it.
Right.
The son started yelling at Jackie Robinson the exact same way his dad did.
was, right.
So now if you're a child and you're seeing your dad justify the actions of cursing out with you know vulgar language
Yeah.
to another race of human being,
Right.
guess what? When you're that age, you're gonna do the exact
Yep.
same shit, and you're
Yep.
gonna do it in front of your kid and or tell your kids to do the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Because your kids are gonna mimic you, even when they're not around you. So you know, whatever example you're setting at home, they're gonna go outside of your home and fucking express it themselves. So, you know, just be mindful. Be mindful of that. Times are changing fast, and if you don't adapt and overcome to these changes, you're gonna get left behind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's 4D chess. They already know what's going on, but it's really up to us to figure out those loopholes and those different things, but then also share the success. To
Absolutely.
me, that's one of the things that I see in a lot of, you know, in our type of culture.
Yeah.
Where like when somebody is doing well, you're quick to try to grab them by their ankles and pull them down back to your
Facts.
level instead of pushing them up,
Facts.
knowing that that's an opportunity for them to pick you up too.
Right.
Right. That's why we always talk about like, yo, if we're gonna eat, everyone's
Everybody
gonna
eats.
eat because
Absolutely.
everyone has an opportunity to grow, and that's the shit that the society is scared of.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you look at like Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? It was a community of what they call like, you know, the $1 million what was it, $1 million Wall Street or some of that?
Yeah.
Like because that whole community was thriving.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
But because it was a threat,
They were pulling everybody up. It wasn't like, you know, every man for themselves, which is like an ideology that's been pushed since I can remember. It's
Yeah.
like everybody for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you know, survival of the
but
fittest.
it's only taught
But
to like
that's-
people of color.
Exactly. It's like, you know, survival of the fittest. And it's like, you know, been taught to us in the Hispanic communities and the black communities that it's like, you know, oh no, you got to look out for yourself, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, we gotta be tough. We gotta be, you know, make this shit on our own. But in reality, when you make shit in a group and you see other people thrive with you, it's like a different like feeling, you know what I mean? And it's a good feeling because, you know, you have other cultures doing it. You know what I mean? Why
Asians
can't we
do it all
why
the time.
can't we
Every
fucking
Asian
do
does
it?
it, yeah.
Asians, I see Indian people do it. You know, like people from India, like they include like everybody. You know, if one comes up, everybody comes up. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's something that we're missing in our culture.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, oh no, I made it, so hey, you gotta get yours. You know what I mean? Like figure it out. And nah, like
Well, it's
we
like,
gotta
teach me how- oh,
yeah, exactly.
teach me
Like
how you made it.
exactly. Like, you know, throw me some pointers. Like what can I
just dropped
do?
the beer.
Like what can I do different or whatever? Like, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, we have to kind of come out of that norm, I guess, that cultural norm of us being kind of selfish, you know, in the come up. And it's like, you know, if we can teach other people to do the same thing that we're doing and have them succeed and, you know, provide for their family and, you know, make their family successful, then why not? Why not fucking do it? Man, fucking everybody eats, you know what I mean? It's and that way we can come to a level where, you know, we can create a change. We can create a change in the culture. We can create a change for the better. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think that's extremely important that, you know, we get out of that fucking selfish mindset of like, oh, I made it, figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nah, man. Like, if somebody's fucking down, fucking help them up. Fucking do something.
Pat you in the back while they're on all fours.
Yeah, man. You never step on somebody that's down. Like, you always, like, if you're gonna look down on somebody, it's to help them fucking up. You know what I mean? That's my thing. It's like, you know, you never put your foot on somebody that's down. Never. So
like a lot of, you know, the one thing, like, you know, with you guys, like with you being Mexican, right?
Yeah.
And just a lot of Latinos in general, you see that, right?
Yeah.
You see
Man,
where,
I
like,
see that shit on a daily basis.
I crossed over, you know, I might be here illegal, let's say, and then somebody else comes like, okay, you can come work with me at this person's, right?
Right.
But or like, you know, you see everyone coming together, right? And they're trying to build to make a better for them. But the one thing that I say, it's like, you guys are doing the right thing, but you guys are doing it for the wrong person.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the thing is like, hey, we're all coming together, but we're all coming together to help the white man that has the job.
Exactly.
You know, and what I like is when you see like what you do. You know, you're about to start your own construction company, right? With your dad and your brother.
Yep.
Right? So now it's like, hey, I've hustled in the inside, right? Had an opportunity to learn, right? Now, and I was able to build, and now I have 3 other partners where now it's a Latin-owned company.
Facts.
Right?
Yep.
That can do everything that everyone does and has people underneath them that they know they can trust because they worked with them.
Exactly.
So now you have Latinos helping out other Latinos, right? To hopefully leapfrog them so they can start their own company. Right? Because you think about, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, if you work construction, you have a white boss.
Right.
Only thing that dude's caring about is that you do your job, right?
Yep.
And they get the money, they just pay you whatever.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about you.
And they don't give a shit about you.
They don't give a shit about you. And that's the main reason too why, you know, I wanted to go into this business and fucking get it going. It's like, I see it, you know, how...
We'll talk about it.
It's like, you know, in the construction industry, it's very rough. You know what I mean? That's the kind of like every man for themselves type of mentality. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like we can never step out of that and always, you know, we're always working for somebody. You know what I mean? When there's an opportunity to make something for your own, make more money, you know, and get out of that fucking rat race that you're always doing, you know, fucking going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home type shit, and create something, you know, create something different, create something that's going to help out the community, that's going to help out, you know, the culture and stuff like that. And I feel like me, John, and my dad are kind of like, have that mindset that we're like, you know, going into this to grow it, but to also use it as a platform to kind of, you know, bring people up, you know what I mean? Like in the culture or whoever is interested in, you know, that field or whatever. But if there's an opportunity for somebody else to grow with us, why not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what we're going to do. That's what we want to do. So, I mean, it's obviously a big, it's like they say, it's a big leap for us because, you know, but I mean, we've been in the industry for a while, so we know kind of the ins and outs and, you know, of the industry. And, you know, it's something that it's basically been long overdue for us, you know, because we speak English and Spanish. We fucking know the construction industry pretty well.
What are you guys going to be doing specifically?
Well, we're going to be focusing mainly on like drywall, finish, like acoustical ceilings, Mainly, it's going to be probably like multifamily places, so kind of like apartment complexes, like new ones. Um,
Then also
and
homes
then
too, if needed.
we'll probably get into that probably a little bit later on, but the bulk of it right now is probably going to be like apartment complexes coming up, like new ones and shit like that. Installing drywall, fucking doing the finishing, maybe the paint, and all of that. And then eventually probably getting into commercial. The commercial side is probably the biggest side, but you know, around this time of year, it slows down a little bit
Yeah.
because of the cold weather and everything. But you know, it's something. It's a new venture. It's a new experience that you know we want to take on because we want to learn. We want to grow, obviously, and we want to use that as a kind of a platform to kind of venture off and do other things as well in the future. So I mean, it should be pretty good experience. I'm excited for it, and I mean, it should be pretty good.
Yeah. I look at it where the excitement, like it goes through my head. We're like, all right, you're like drywall finish, right? But then I'm like, damn, what if they had, they find a guy because they've worked before who is really good with electrical.
Right.
Now when you do a bid, it's like, hey, listen, we have people who are electricians.
Yep.
We have people who do drywall.
Yeah.
It's like also we have, a guy who does surround sound audio.
Yeah. I
Who
mean,
knows how to wire.
I mean, we're not gonna limit ourselves to just that, right? We're not gonna. That's the main thing for us.
That's where it broadens.
Yeah, exactly. And the main thing with us is starting off with what we know, so which is drywall, frame, fucking finish. That's what we're big on. But eventually branching off to other trades like electrical, maybe like roofing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That we could get into as well. But to start off, we're gonna obviously start off with what we know and run with that, and then eventually once we start gaining capital and stuff like that, then venture off to other things as well, and and see where it goes. But yeah,
What's the company called?
The company's called New Generation Drywall. And
Where can they find you?
yeah, I mean we just got Instagram, but we got to work on that website.
What are you looking at me for? Damn.
Because you'll probably be the one doing it.
Who made the
You
logo?
brought the logo. You
Yeah.
made the logo. So
That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
So look out for us.
So it's New Generation.
New Generation Drywall.
What's the Instagram?
Instagram is New Generation Drywall. I think it's
LLC?
LLC. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's right.
we haven't posted there much, but yeah, we got.
Well, it's coming soon.
We got some stuff lined up. So hopefully, it'll take its course probably before the end of the year and into the next year. Hit the ground running 2021.
Now, if you need some logos made,
If you need some logos made, hit my boy Christian.
you can hit me up.
At Dotto.
The Dotto Design is the Instagram for that, which is dope.
So yeah, it's gonna be a new experience with the whole business side of it, but we're ready for it. So
No, I'm excited for you guys.
it should be
I've been
good.
cheering. I'm your biggest.
The biggest fan. That's good.
Cheering you out. I always had your back.
It'll be good. I have a good feeling about it.
Put John on a short leash.
Nah, he's gonna be the head guy. So
He's the one that wears a suit.
yeah, exactly. He just got a
he's that pretty
Mercedes
boy.
too,
He's
so
that
he's
pretty
got to
boy.
pay for that shit.
That's facts. That's
But,
facts. Because he's gonna be broke sitting in a Mercedes just hanging out.
Exactly. Nah, but it'll be good. It'll
Have
be
we
good.
ever tried using the Bluetooth on this yet?
No, not yet.
How
We
hard
need
is it?
to.
Do you just click a button and it shows up on your phone?
I think so.
You should try it.
I think so.
No, just for the hell of it. I dare you to try it. And we'll just like randomly
who
like
should we call?
call somebody. Just randomly call somebody. Like, hey, guess what, motherfucker? Get on it.
Let me see. Let me call.
I do not mind that we're talking about this as a random. I think that's pretty cool. So we have something called the Rhodes Podcaster, which anyone out there who is interested in starting a podcast, this is probably one of the best equipments you can get. Because it's small, it does everything you need, and it holds up to 4 microphones, and you can adjust left and right, which is dope. But one of the features that we're talking about, that's what we're talking about, is that you can set up Bluetooth. You can actually set your phone to it, and if you call somebody, you should call Freddie.
Calling John.
So you call your brother, and it will actually. Do you hear it ringing in your phone, in your headphones? Do you hear it?
Oh, hold on.
Oh no, the phone one, that one.
This one. Probably this one.
Yeah.
Oh no, this one.
Do you hear it ring?
Yeah, I hear it ring.
Oh shit! And so you can actually hear it ring. I won't be able to hear him because I don't have my headphones, but he can. So I think that's kind of dope.
Yo,
what up, bruh?
what's up?
You are live.
You are live, my G.
What's up, bro?
We're doing the podcast.
Oh shit, what's going on?
Not much. We just wanted to try the Bluetooth shit. Damn, this shit sounds clear as
Does
fuck.
Let me see.
Yeah, this shit sounds good.
What are y'all talking about?
Talking about your mama. No, I can't because that's the wrong. We talked about how you got a Mercedes to pay it off. That's for sure.
Shit, I'm saying.
Yeah. So we just been outside, just vibing, chilling, drinking some Reformation Judes. I got a Corona. Just talking about life. What's been going on in the past few? Wow, it really does sound super
Dude,
clear.
it sounds awesome.
You have anything
you
want
guys
anything to add?
shrooms?
No, dude, really? No, what an idiot. He's like, are you guys doing shrooms? This guy's an idiot.
Coming soon.
Yeah. That would be a wild episode.
No, this shit sounds dope. Though.
Can you hear me too still?
Yeah, I can. You can hear it. Everything clear.
You guys sound like super clear too.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. We're like,
yeah, you guys sound really good.
Yeah, we're just.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like
he can't hear you,
shit.
so that's the funny part.
Scream in your brother's ear, see what happens.
Shit.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Shit, watching fucking Disney Channel with AJ.
Oh, I got you. Picked them up.
Yeah, I picked them up earlier. We're just watching some TV.
Whatever.
I got you.
But yeah, I mean, we can link up tomorrow with the kids or something.
Yeah, bro, we'll link up tomorrow.
All right, bro.
Let's go
I'll
shooting.
see ya.
Oh, I'm playing soccer in the morning.
Oh yeah, we
Hang
picked
up
that
on
shooting. I don't know, place. We'll find something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, bro.
All right, homie. Y'all take it easy.
All right, bye.
Okay.
You want to call Freddie? Yeah. No, that might be a little
Oh,
scary.
yeah, that was really dope.
Yes, what's cool about it is, like we talked about, if someone can't make it in person, because, we do it at the house. We do it outdoors to kind of give that natural vibe, but then if someone can't make it, we can call them and then just hang out with us crystal clear, like if we're calling up a radio station.
Yeah. No, that was dope.
That was cool.
Dope.
I don't know, it was like random, popped in my head. I was like, I saw the light, I was like, we've never tried it.
Yeah.
Good.
That's
What better
a cool
person
feature.
to segue into is your brother being an idiot?
Yeah, but
does 2021
it'll be
scare you at all?
2021 doesn't scare me at all. It's actually like I'm excited for it. Like I'm actually like looking forward to 2021. Just mainly because of this project starting up and getting it going and everything. And I don't know. I have a really good feeling about 2021 for some reason. I don't know.
You think it has anything to do with December 21st of 2020?
I don't know, man. I guess we'll find out, see what happens. But
Just Google it. Anyone who's listening, just Google it.
Yeah,
December 21st, 2020, and see what they say.
Yeah, 2021 should be. I feel like it's gonna be a good year for me for just everything I have going on.
Well, between January and February, you got something big happening.
Yeah. Another little baby girl coming. Oh. But
he could not roll the dice and get that boy.
Yeah,
that everyone wanted. The whole family is nothing but girls.
The holy trinity of females, yeah. But
that's why everyone keeps on wanting Liz and I to have a kid, and we're like, nah, we're good. Because we're like that key to unlock the boy secret.
Yeah, but nah, it's I have a feeling it's gonna be a good next year. So
You excited to have this girl?
yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's obviously gonna be my last.
Yeah. Are you gonna get snipped? You gonna get a little snip?
Might get a little snip, but you know what I'm saying. But you know what I mean.
They do make prosthetics, to help you out with that.
But I'm excited. Next year should be interesting. And
it's gonna come by super fast.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely gonna be
I mean,
big,
November is right down.
Yeah,
you can see it from here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, next year's gonna be a big change. I feel for me, just because of everything I got going on, especially with the thing I got going on with Justin too. I want to get that going. But
plug in central right now. Let's
go.
Let it out.
I got my hands all over the place right now.
He's got a hand in the pie.
Yeah. So
what are you doing with Justin?
We're doing that that vintage online store starting up. So we're kind of plotting that and trying to get that started too.
I still gotta work on that logo.
Yeah, busy, but I mean, yeah, man. Next year's gonna be super busy, but I feel like it's gonna be a good year. And yeah, man. Like I said, if one makes it, we all make it, bro. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good year. So I'm putting it out there now.
Hey, man, like they say, law of attraction, right?
Exactly.
You put out the positive, and the positive will come back to you.
It's been a rough 2020, but
like
shit only lasts for so long.
I think it's been rough, but I also feel that it's definitely been. It's almost a year. Like November will be a year, just about. Was it you I was talking to or Freddie? I don't remember.
I don't know. What were you talking about?
Because we were talking about how it was probably him, where Freddie was talking about how it's almost going to be a year that COVID's been around, right? I was like, it'll be a year like in March when it's been here, but like it happened in China first, like in November,
That's true.
And then we kind of just like lived our lives like whatever. They're like, oh look, 100,000 people died in China. And we're like, oh whatever, because it wasn't really here.
Damn, that's crazy to think of that.
Like you subconsciously, you see it in the news, but you don't like register it.
Yeah.
You didn't really register it until they were like, hey, it broke out. Now it's in like Europe. You know it, but you're not like 100% into it.
Right.
But then when they're like, oh, the first first COVID case that happened in the United States, you're like, oh shit, okay, now I'm a little nervous,
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of fear. But I also feel that there's been a lot of like a rebirth or reawakening for a lot of people.
Oh, for sure.
Because, the idea that you had to like, your mental mindset that you had to break down, because you think about it, right? The negative that a lot of people see, that I feel, right, is that you literally are repeating the same thing you do Monday through Friday.
Facts.
Right? Mm-hmm. If you break it down, the average person lives until like say they're 80, right? Mm-hmm. Hypothetical, right? The first 18 years of that, you are in school and growing up.
Right.
If you go to college, you're there for 4 years. You're what, 18, 19, 21? You're like 22 years old, right? Yeah. Then you start working. Mm-hmm. So if you started working when you were, say, 22 years old, but some people might have started early, like in 18, things like that.
15.
And then you don't stop. You had child labor, right? And if you don't stop until you're like 65, that's the majority of your life. So you have 65, then you got 75, say 85. That's 20 years. Mm-hmm. And you got 20 years prior to that. So it's basically like, only really living like 30 years.
Right.
So you see those memes that show like, hey, you'll make all this money, but then when you get older, you don't have time to even spend it.
Exactly. And that's my thing too. It's like, with all these things that I have my hands on, it's like, the end goal is, I just hit 30. So when
that's a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing because
39. I'm going to be 39
at
this year.
30, in my mind, I have 10 years, right? I have a decade to bust my ass. You know what? Like trial and error type shit. You know what I mean? If this works, cool, let's run with it. If it doesn't work, drop it. Like we got time to figure some other shit out. You know what I mean? So my end goal is to retire by the time I'm like 40, 42, 42, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Before
be able
45.
to be exactly before 45 and be able to enjoy what I've, made in those 10 years. You know what I mean? So my mindset now is 30. I hit 30. I'm hitting the ground running. I'm fucking figuring shit out, starting businesses, fucking trying to get shit started and fucking run with it.
Collaborations.
Exactly. Collaborations, trying to help people out, whatever I can do to make a change to my life, to other people's lives. Like, that's the end goal. You know what I mean? So by the time I hit 40, 41, 42, like I can sit back, I can enjoy my family, I can enjoy, other things,
Adventures,
do
going
other
out,
things that I want to do, but I'm gonna bust my ass from now till then and fucking make that shit work. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I feel like 2020 has kind of, for me personally, has kind of opened like that door to be like, okay, shit's going like to shit this year, but don't get like too wrapped up in that shit. Like, try to build something off of it. You know what I mean? And that's been my mentality since this whole COVID shit started. Cause I'm like, damn, like, I saw all this shit go to shit, like all these businesses and everything. And I'm like, luckily for me, I never stopped working throughout this whole thing. You know what I mean? So like, I noticed that, and I'm like, well, now is the time to kind of, get a head start on a business like this, and, hit 2021, hit the ground running, and, just take it from there. And yeah, man, it's something different that 2020 has just, has been it has been a lot of internal, like, growth, a lot of like mental growth, a lot of just a lot of different things that,
Purging is a great
man,
word
just a lot of, things that you started to realize that, are more important than other things. You know what I mean? And it's like, you have to figure that out on your own and fucking, take action on it. You know what I mean? In order to create some kind of change. So I feel like, yeah, and I had told myself, like, once I hit 30, I'm gonna fucking, go balls to the wall, like, till, for like a good decade, because, shit changes drastically in 10 years, you know what I mean? So, and I think a lot of people don't realize that, like, in 10 years span, man, you can fucking change your life completely. So, and that's my goal.
It seems short, but it's a long time.
But it's a long time to fucking make shit happen. And that's how much I'm giving myself. It's that 10-year span to fucking make shit happen.
You're 30 now, right? And it's 2020, meaning that by 2030, you'll be 40. That is
40.
wild to think about, the fact of, like, what would 2030 look like?
Exactly. That shit's crazy, too. So, I mean,
like, you could see it, you might imagine it.
You could talk
your
about
reality
it all day.
has to catch up to your subconscious.
Exactly.
So you could really know what it's like.
I mean, I envision like where I plan on being in fucking 2030. So, I mean, I'm gonna work until it happens. Not probably.
Okay. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start painting again.
It'll be good.
Yeah. We got so hit it up. You're wearing the Lakers hat.
So yeah.
You think the Lakers
I'm thinking
win?
the Lakers are gonna win this NBA Finals. But I'm not ruling out the Heat. But they did have a couple injuries last game. The first game they had.
The game starts. Oh, it starts at 9 or 9:30.
Yeah, I think it's 9:30.
Yeah, so we got a few more minutes.
Yeah. So the thing is, the Miami Heat has been an underdog this entire season. They have a lot of they have some shooters, so they have, like, 3-point shooters like crazy. But the first game, I don't know, it was I guess they couldn't get a rhythm going. And then you had a few injuries. You had Abayo fucking get injured. You had fucking Jimmy Butler roll his ankle. And
it's an ankle. Get back up.
Well, he came back on the game, but I mean, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And then they're only having like one day off between games. So they play today, then they'll be play again on Sunday. So they're like literally have no.
But they don't have to
rest
travel
time.
far either.
Yeah, that's true
But
too.
it's still tough on the body.
But, yeah, definitely. And then I mean, the Lakers, they have a height advantage over Miami Heat like crazy. I mean,
With Dwight
LeBron's
Howard.
huge, Dwight Howard's huge,
And
fucking
Davis.
Anthony Davis is
When
huge.
all three of them are out,
God
that's 3 out of the
damn,
5. That's just like you got to get through.
You got some giants on that team, dude. And that
Dwight Howard's not the same.
That's
anymore.
a big difference in itself, you know what I mean? But and then last game they were dropping threes too, like it was cool. Like they were just fucking three.
It was still it was a really close game in the beginning.
Oh, Miami was
They were
like
winning.
Yeah, they were
by like
up
10 or
by like
something.
I think it was like 10 points.
And then by the when the second half started, it was a blowout.
Yeah.
So I think once they kind of figure out, what the kind of game plan, tonight's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, tonight, that's why I want to watch it, because I know tonight's going to be a game for the Miami Heat. They have to win this game.
It's game 2.
If Miami doesn't win this game, I have a feeling it's going to be a sweep.
Yeah.
4 games, Lakers take it.
To me, I honestly love debating LeBron. Like when people talk about LeBron.
I don't like to talk about LeBron, bro.
Because I
fuck with LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron's a hell of a fucking player.
He's a great player.
He's a hell of a fucking
he's a phenomenal
playmaker.
athlete.
He's probably going to go down in history as one of the greatest basketball players to ever
that's the
touch
problem.
the hardwood. And I just don't like the comparison shit.
No.
I hate
Because he doesn't compare to any of them.
Oh, well, who do you think is better?
He's better
LeBron
than Michael
James or
Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
I'm like, no.
I'm like, you cannot compare that. I saw this shit on TikTok. It was like, oh, who do you think is better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? It's like, well, if you go to a bitch's house 6 times and you fuck her 6 times out of 6, and you go to, and then compared to another one where you go to a bitch's house 9 times and you only fuck 3 times, who's the GOAT?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, I get it.
But it's true, though.
I get it.
Like, and I even talk about, he's some milk. I even talk about how, I always start that off. I tell him, listen, don't get me wrong. He is an amazing athlete.
Yeah,
he is
for sure.
ridiculously
You can't take that away
strong.
from
He's
him.
really good,
Yeah,
right?
Fuck yeah. He's
But
awesome.
the problem is that since Jordan, right? Because Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, they were always kind of highlights, but Jordan was really that one, especially when you watch The Last Dance, right?
Man.
That you see that the NBA put them on their on the shoulder and wanted him to run with it to make a difference.
Yeah.
Because of Michael Jordan is the reason why the NBA is all over the world.
Facts.
I mean,
before
period.
Michael Jordan, the NBA was in nothing.
Yep.
It was irrelevant.
And they didn't have anyone else like that until Kobe Bryant came.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan was still in the NBA, but when Kobe Bryant came, they noticed his talent, and they were like, okay, he's going to be on the pedestal for that next Jordan. But he mimicked and he played just like him, and his heart was ridiculous.
Exactly.
Hence the whole Mamba mentality.
Yeah, Mamba mentality.
The next person after that was LeBron James. But the problem is the NBA, and I keep telling people, it's like, I understand where you come from, and they talk about how he's going to break like the scoring record. I'm like, great, but
matter.
the problem is like the NBA rules
it matters, but it doesn't matter.
1,000 times different than the NBA rules in the 90s and the 80s.
For sure. It's a whole different game.
Hand checking,
different
forearm
game.
checking. The idea that, well, okay, he's the superstar, so he's going to get most of the fouls.
Right.
And a lot of people talked about that. There's YouTube videos for days about like when the Lakers played against the Spurs and they were getting these like they wanted obviously the Lakers to win, right? So they kind of skewed it a little bit. They're talking about how like 4 of the Lakers were almost in foul trouble by the second half over nonsense, and they showed like slow-mos, like the ref they didn't even touch him, and the ref calls it. So it's all marketing, right? So LeBron becomes like, almost makes $500,000, $500 million off the court. He's doing all these things, so like obviously they want him to be on that pedestal.
Yeah,
he's been to the finals 10 times in a row, right? And only won 3 championships.
3 championships, yeah. Well, this is his 10th.
Yeah, this is his 10th, but he's won. So he's won 3 out of 9.
Yeah,
That's what, 3%, 30%, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like you cannot compare somebody who basically mimicked Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you can't, like, he even says it like, that was his role model. He followed his footsteps.
Yeah.
So you can't really compare somebody who's mimicked somebody else. You can't. Like, it has to be somebody's individual, like, effort and da-da-da-da-da.
The heart.
Exactly.
I mean, see LeBron quit.
I mean,
or take the last second shot and miss it.
Like, you can't rule out, like, a player's heart. Like, LeBron James, he has heart. Fucking Kobe Bryant has hella heart. There's plenty of players who have heart. You know what I mean? But to compare them to Michael Jordan, who basically set the standard for these new generation players, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't compare him to him. He's the fucking GOAT. Plain and simple. He's the fucking GOAT. Like, you can't talk about comparing somebody to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, like, me being from Chicago, like, he's the fucking Omega. You know what I mean? The alpha and the omega.
It's going to take I don't think we'll ever find anybody like that again.
And we won't. We won't, because just the era that Michael Jordan came up in, and it was just a different dynamic, man. It was just insane.
You're playing against some big ass dudes.
And you got to think about the time frame that he was coming up in. Like, he had to make that statement, like, I'm that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, he had to. There was no other choice for him, because that was it. Like, that's all he had. And, I mean, it's just, like, his mentality, his work ethic, his love for the game, like, his dedication was just
that
unreal,
no quit attitude.
Unreal, man. His shit was
You also have to think about physical therapy. Physical therapy, doing chronogenics. Kobe Bryant used to do the hormones where it's his own blood. So, like, when he was younger, he there was an article that was saying how he actually would take pints of his blood out, right? Because it has all that good, young shit inside. So then when he was older, right, he would do a transfusion almost and put some of that blood inside to help him heal. Right? And then you got cryogenics, you got all these other things. They didn't have any of that shit back then.
Exactly.
You look at that damn locker room, and half of them dudes who worked, as therapists look like they didn't know shit.
Right.
You just see them in a bucket of ice and that's it.
Exactly.
As opposed to, like, what you could do now with, like, yoga and everything else like that. So you have all those. That's why a lot of these dudes are so fit compared to they were.
Yeah, for sure.
But then, like, even when you watch The Last Dance and they talk about when their big struggle with Detroit.
Yeah.
And how Detroit, they said, no, our objective is, like, we're going to throw this dude's ass to the floor every time.
Yeah, they were roughing him up.
You can never do that in the NBA now.
No.
Never.
Hell no. You get thrown out the game real quick.
You would be kicked out and you would be gone for like 5 games.
Yep.
It's not the same anymore.
Not the same.
It's softer.
It's way softer.
Don't get me wrong. He would still be the shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And he'd still be known, but one, his career would not be as long.
No.
Right?
Hell no.
And he would be good, but he wouldn't be like at that standard as what he is now.
Exactly.
And a lot of these things, especially this year, I like debating when I talk about you almost need to put an asterisk behind, next to whoever wins the championship's name, whether it's Miami or the Lakers, who cares? That it needs to be an asterisk because you played, because I went to the very last game at the Hawks game, they played against the Knicks, right? And it was like Vince Carter's last game, so that.
Oh, yeah.
So the season was kind of already in, and the season usually ends like February or some nonsense like that. And every team is in the same bubble. You don't have the same fans and stuff like it is, or traveling back and forth, all those different aspects.
Yeah.
So it's a different type of playing field. But then also a lot of teams didn't have all their players.
Exactly.
So I'm like, all right, can LeBron do the same thing against like Golden State, let's say, if they had everybody?
It's definitely a shitty basketball season, I will say.
The play has been good, though.
No. Yeah, but in the sense of just with everything, the whole Corona shit.
Yeah.
And I just feel like all these players are in a different mindset, a different, like, they care about the game, but their mind is not there fully. Because you got to think about, like, come on, man. Like, when you're in a fucking game and you got, like, tens of thousands of fans and that shit is, like, crack.
It's intense, man.
You know what I mean? That shit is crack.
You level up. You Super Saiyan that shit.
Yeah, exactly. When those, like, crunch timing moments come in and you got all the fans yelling and fucking screaming and all this shit, that gets players going. You know what I mean? It's like an adrenaline shot. You know what I mean? With any kind of live sport. You know what I mean? And it's like, not having that right now, I feel like it's affected the professional sports in a major way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But hopefully we get back to the normal settings like next year, and we can get
now you can kind of get because there'll be more things implemented, which is bullshit, mm-hmm. And then a lot of people, like, think about it, like Golden State, right? Like 3 of their top players were out.
Yeah.
So players had the choice to either opt in and play or don't play at all. So some players had that opportunity, etc. Right?
Yep.
So they're like, well, fuck it. We'll stay out, don't play, we'll come back next year.
Yep.
They got the 3rd round draft pick.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. For Golden State,
that's crazy.
That's insane.
So if they get a good player and do that, fuck, man, it's done.
It's gonna be hopefully it'll be a good sports season next year.
We get college football.
But on that note,
it is about to be exactly 9:30 where the Lakers and the Heat are gonna do Game 2, and we need to stop this so we can go drink some more Reformation Juice.
Yes,
and
sir.
watch the game and have friends come over.
Yes, sir.
All right. And on that note, if you like what you hear, thank you again. Thank you. If you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram at Podcast ALV.
And on basically all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube.
Yep.
So
ALV Podcast, one word. And also go to ALVpodcast.com to get all those links. Right?
Yes,
until next time, we're actually coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
Stay tuned for that.
Hell yeah. All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
See ya.